A goodie. Today, I think is my man K-Mac. Get your hands together for the sports guys.
Hey.
Sports is my man. What up, Mac? What up, Mac? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I am outstanding. You know, today we're doing something different. We have a second gentleman I'm going to bring on to join us. He is a basketball legend, a b-ball legend in the streets of Chicago.
All right.
And his name is Ralph Walker. Let's bring him on real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, Ralph Walker in the house. Well, I just took myself off. Where Ralph Walker go?
He dropped off. He literally just disconnected.
There you go. Oh, there he is. As I hit his button, I guess you trying to bring yourself on. Okay, there you are. What up, Ralph?
What's going on?
How you feel, Chicagoan?
Hey, feel real good. Hey, I've been getting cut off every 2 or 3 minutes, so I have to click back on. But I'm glad to be on here with all your guests.
Well, see, you got to let go of T-Mobile. See, with T-Mobile, you can only get a signal if you park in front of the place you call.
Come on, Michael. Come on, Michael. Don't do that. Don't do that, Michael. Don't do that. They're a sponsor. Don't do that, man.
He is sponsor. Oh, T-Mobile's one of your sponsors.
Don't do that.
He ain't one of my sponsors.
It won't be now.
It won't be now. Hey, brothers, welcome both of you to the show this morning. I was going to jump into something about sports. What do you feel? What's going on with sports for you today, K-Mac?
Man, you know, it's all about the preparing for the NFL draft, and of course we got the NBA playoffs going on right now. Brooklyn just finished getting swept last night by the Boston Celtics. And all of the questions surrounding the power team that was put together by the Brooklyn Nets with Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. And at this point, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and a lot of disappointment by a lot of people, a lot of NBA fans, because they know the talent that was on that team, and it just really didn't pan out for like 100 different reasons. But I'm gonna leave it at this: it didn't pan out because of lack of leadership. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Well, that just go to show that individual guys can't win games.
That's right.
They had a complete team, and they played as a team, and that's why they won.
Right.
Wow. Well, do we ever have that problem here in LA with the guy from Cleveland who's the star here? What's his name? LeBron.
Yeah, LeBron James.
Do we ever have that with him where he's the whole show? Huh?
You saw with LeBron James, he could not propel that team by himself. He didn't have enough people to gel together where they could win as a team.
There you go. Teamwork makes the dream work. Go ahead, K-Mac.
So I'm glad he just said that, right? Because that's one of the things I've been harping on all season. So a couple things that happened in Brooklyn to keep in mind. So Steve Nash being a head coach had never coached before. A lot of people questioned that. They had a lot of questions and concerns about that. So you take that rookie head coach, inexperienced head coach, and pair him with 3 superstars who have been known to be all individuals and not remotely being team players, and having to put that together in Brooklyn. And then you add to that, and you compound the fact that Kyrie Irving, by not being vaccinated, could not play over half of the season in half of the games. You combine that with what they had going on. And I just think, quite honestly, the reason that it really just did not work, you didn't have a strong enough leadership base to put that team together to actually force it to function. Because when you have a player and his cohorts come out and say, well, we really don't need a coach, that's a problem. And that's how they started the season. They started the season with a statement.
Not a good way to start.
We really don't need a coach. I'm like, really?
Wow. So Ralph,
Go ahead, Mike.
in Chicago, you were a b-ball legend. That means you were a street basketball player?
I was a street ball player, just didn't get the opportunity, just like a lot of good ball players that come out of Chicago. You know, it's a matter of being at the right place at the right time. And, you know, I mean, if you talk to people who played against me or knew me in Chicago, they would probably say I should have been in the league. But for whatever reason, I always like to say God had other plans for me, and that's the reason why I didn't get in.
Okay. All right. Me, I never got in because I can't play. Okay. So K-Mac, I wanted to say something. Ralph is here with us, not just because he's a b-ball legend, but he's a Chicagoan like myself.
Yep.
Sorry. Unfortunately, he West Side. It's okay.
Yeah.
But I wrote a poem. So I'm gonna K-Mac, I'm gonna pull you down. I'm gonna let you tell people how they can find you.
Make sure you guys check us out at thesportsshopradio.com. I'm gonna put it in the chat. That's thesportsshopradio.com. You can stream the show live from there if you're in the North Carolina market, television market on Spectrum Cable. You can check us out on 1257. We're on air every morning, every weekday morning. You can stream the show. You can check out the show. You get the podcast and YouTube. You get on YouTube. You get it on iTunes. You can get on Spotify. You get it everywhere.
And K-Mac, you really put it down this morning, letting us know how the team could have worked better if they had a leader, man. Leadership is everything.
It's all about leadership, man.
Everything. I mean, when our country fell to pieces like it did, it's because we had Trump as the leader. So everything went crazy.
I always talk about the level of success for almost every organization, including your own individual families, your corporations, your churches, no matter what it is. Your level of success is dictated by the leadership led. The leadership led principles is simply this: you can only be as successful as your leadership led is. So if your leadership has a very limited view, a very small view, a very distracted view, a distorted view of things, you can't go much further than where they are.
Exactly. See, yeah, and I just love that whole idea that you even spoke about, because it is about the teamwork. A lot of teams fall to pieces because they don't understand the team's job is to make sure that the leader shines. They make sure the leader kills, because when the leader wins,
right,
everybody going to the bank. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I love my show, because I finally have the team. I have that team I need to make this show run. And the team is what makes the difference. That's what makes the leader able to be a great leader. And he, in turn, forms an awesome team. So thank you, King. I appreciate you. Leave me with a woo, 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 sir.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait, you doing this. You making a U. It's a W. Woo, woo, woo.
Woo, woo, woo.
Thank you, K-Mac. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Give a hug to the other sports guys. This young man, I met him up in Pleasanton, and Ralph came up to me and he had heard a poem I had written called "The Skin I'm In." You know, where I was simply talking about how we get treated because we're Black people, because of the skin we're in. He heard it and was inspired to write a similar poem. Tell a story.
Well, after the George Floyd incident, and after hearing your poem, I had this epiphany of writing a poem to mimic what you had wrote, and it was very, very. It's titled "My Skin Is My Skin," and it's unfortunate that we get looked upon because of the color of our skin, but for centuries that's how we've been judged, just by the color of our skin and not by the contents of our character. So I happen to write this poem, and I hope that it touched people's soul and they could identify with it and use it for something to better their lives and everybody else's lives.
Chicago legend, ladies and gentlemen, Ralph Walker.
I heard a man say, "My sin is my skin." I shook my head to think, how can I win? It's a constant struggle to show who I am, but frankly, they don't give a damn. When I wondered how could this be, I have the same flesh and blood as he. My mind started racing, looking to find a resolution. There's got to be one in the U.S. Constitution. All men are created equal. Will my time come in a sequel? Before this horror story ends, I'm proud of the skin I'm in. I want to have a discussion or even a debate on why the world is full of so much hate. I'm tired of all the distraction and ready for our leaders to take some action. They're the ones who can create a plan that's comparable for every man. Or will we continue to have distrust, which could lead to the demise of all of us?
Wow. Yes, sir. Beautiful young man. Beautiful. I appreciate you, man. So tell people, what are you doing these days?
I'm actually retired. I just retired in October from Director of Security for the Golden State Warriors.
Woo!
Woo, woo, woo.
Hey, my second retirement, I did police department. I retired in 2003, and then I got hired by the NBA in 2005. I've been working with the Warriors since then. But I was assigned to Steph Curry, his personal bodyguard, and it just came to a time where I was just feeling like I needed to have some me time. So you can't get that time back. I have 5 kids, and you spend a lot of time away from them, and then you never can get that time back. So I thought, let me pull a pin and spend some time with my family before I check out here. I'll be 69 in June, Mike. So I'm about 4 years old.
Wow.
God promised us 3 scores and 10.
Wow.
Plus a
You
little
look
bit more.
great.
Thank you, sir.
You look absolutely great. I ain't trying to date you.
Sounds good.
You look great. Brother, thank you. And thank you. I'm so glad. I want to send a shout out to your brother, who also brings you to my attention, and he really supports you. And I always love it when brothers stand together. Like, I love my brothers. Even if we don't get along, we love each other, and we get along. We do get along. But even if we didn't, we would always make sure we remember we're brothers and we look out for each other. My mother insisted on that. We had to stand with each other. In fact, when we got whippings at my house, if one of us got a whooping, everybody got a whooping. Because it was everybody's responsibility to look out for each other, So I appreciate your brother. I appreciate you. Thank you, Ralph, for coming to the show. And of course, you honor me by being inspired by a poem I wrote. So that's cool. So thank you, sir. Tell people how they can find you.
Sky's Dad 7150 at AOL.com.
I love that. And leave us with a woo, woo, woo.
Woo, woo, woo.
Hey.
Ralph,